printed his out, or you might have yours on your computer, and that's fine. So the whole purpose of the workshop is to find a purpose that is in aligned with, I guess, your gifts, your talents, your abilities, what you love to do. And I was just speaking to Bill before it. It's something that you're born with, right? I believe purpose is something you're born with, but purpose isn't something that it's a one-time thing. So it's like, oh, I'll get to my purpose when this happens. I'll find my purpose eventually when this happens. Or there's no destination when it comes to purpose, but there's purpose that should be lived every single day. So I guess I'm very lucky enough to have found my purpose, I guess, at a young age, which is now basically allowed me to have a very clear vision of what I can use my purpose for. And that is to help people wake up happy every single day, right? And that's the reason I get out of bed every single morning. So the first question I ask really every single person that I currently work with is, what gets you out of bed every single morning? Like, why do you wake up out of bed every single morning? And a lot of people that can't answer that question, they simply just say, I don't know, just because I need to make money, or I need to, look after my kids. And yes, that is an important reason to get out of bed in the morning, right? But there needs to be a deeper, more reasonable, um, I guess, reason to wake up out of bed in the morning. Because on those days that you don't feel like getting up, or those days where you feel with anxiety, or those days you're just dreading to go to work, or on the lowest times you'll ever live, if you can have that one purpose, the reason you get out of bed every morning, you can then wake up happy every single day, which is, I guess, based on 30 Days of Happiness, the book that will be coming out very, very soon. So awesome. Let's get into it. I'm going to share my screen with you guys. If you want to grab your purpose workbooks out, I'm going to find mine, and then I'll share my screen wherever it's gone. So you'll have a look at the very start, and it would just, what we're doing is we're finding questions, and we're asking different questions to find, I guess, more about ourselves and how we can actually start living with purpose and using our purpose. So that's the biggest thing. Like, you find your purpose, then what do you do with it? So that was always, like, guess my biggest example. I was like, all right, well, I kind of know what I want to do, but what else can I do with it? How can I live it every single day and then share it with the world? So we're going to go through a series of questions, and then towards the end, you're going to basically write down your purpose, or what do you believe it is? And then how can you use it every single day? And the action plan. Could you turn it into a business? Could you turn it into a daily activity? Is that you're giving? Like, is it just you giving on a daily basis? Whatever it is, everyone's is completely different. That's the thing. All right, so let's get into it. Oop, not working. There we go. All righty. So this is page 1 and 2. Now, this is important because if you don't know what you're good at, what you don't like, what you're naturally gifted at, asking very specific questions and writing this down. And I was talking to my mum about it the other day, that this kind of exercise, many people have maybe done it before, but it's something that I really believe should be reevaluated every year, because things change. Simple as that. And we forget again, So I want you to grab out your purpose workbook, and I want you to start with, what are you good at? Write down, what are you good at? And without having any kind of imposter syndrome, we were talking about this the other day with Phil. So kind of just write down everything that you believe you are naturally good at, right? Or just good at in general, right? It could be speaking. It could be systems. It could be writing. It could be helping people who are going through a tough time. It could be cleaning the house. It literally could be anything. What are you good at? I'll give you a minute to write that down, and then we're just going to go through these questions. All right. Again, you can also come back to this workbook and refill it out and really sit down maybe on a Saturday morning and really think about it. But we just kind of got to go through it today just so you get an understanding. And yeah, I'm excited. All right, next question. What are you not so good at? So, stuff that you know that you're just naturally not so good at. I know that I'm really not that good at spelling, but I'm good at many other things, right? If I want to get really good at spelling, I just have to work a little bit harder. That's all.
Are you going to give us more time for this one?
Yes, we will. Yes, I will. Yes, I will.
First one was like, it's a long list.
Yeah, that's it. So if you do have a long list, go back to it after this session and just reevaluate it. I love asking these questions. Like it's just reframes, I guess, what you can use your life for, really. Hello, Leo. Welcome to the Purpose Workshop. Just go about your book, and we're just basically answering questions, as you can see on my screen. Oh, he's gone. All right, what are you not so good at? Okay, what do you love to do? Now, this is not so much, I guess. Maybe a lot of us are really do love what we're good at because it's a lot easier, right? But what do you generally love to do? Like, what is that burning desire within you that you just absolutely love to do? Like, I personally, I love to ride horses. So I grew up doing it my whole life. I love reading. I love going for walks on a really nice day. I love going to the gym. But I also love being surrounded by really positive people that we can all make an impact on each other. So, what are the first thing that comes to your mind? Don't really think about it too much. Like, these are questions that should just, come and you should just write them down. There's been so many people coming in and out of this meeting. I hope their links are working. Alrighty, 20 more seconds. All good. And if you are finished that, you can move on to the next question. What do you dislike doing? A lot of people say, what do you hate doing? But I don't like using the word hate, so dislike it is. What do you dislike doing? Like, seriously, what do you dislike doing? For example, I really dislike, actually, I don't mind it, but I don't really like packing the dishwasher and unpacking it. But I do it anyway because that's life.
I'm glad you do.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. I used to get in trouble all the time for packing the dishwasher wrong when I was younger. And that was like drilled into me. And for the rest of my life, I thought I was packing it wrong. So that's
Me
probably
too.
why I don't like it.
Now I actually like it because I get to choose how to do it.
Yeah, in control.
The secret is small loads. But
Yeah,
that's another. Yeah.
that's another workshop. How to pack a dishwasher. What do you dislike doing? It can literally be anything. It could be like editing a podcast. Like, yes, I love listening to my podcast, but like having to edit it and go through every tiny little thing and cut tiny little things out, that drives me insane. So I delegate that.
Hmm.
Alrighty, 10 more seconds. Alrighty. So I want you to go back and look at what you're good at. Have a little think about what you are actually good at, and then kind of go over to the question, what are you naturally gifted at, which is on the second page. What are you naturally gifted at? Which means it comes naturally, it's actually easy, and you're actually good at it.
Mhm.
Like one thing for me, um, I guess because I did it my whole life, was horse riding, right? Everyone used to pay me to train their horses because I was just naturally really good at it. And sport as well. Like the thing is, your natural ability will only take you so far until you get somebody else who has the same natural ability, but they train harder, right? And that happened to me when I was like in the sporting industry. So I used to be a sprinter. And I got to a point I was really good. I was like top of the state, like as a 14-year-old, or I can't even remember how. I was quite young, right? But then my natural ability took me so far and I needed to train harder because there were people better than me, right? In nationals. So that's what I mean. Like you can have something you're really gifted at, but then you have to actually continue working on it so you can be the best. So what are you naturally gifted at that comes easy to you? So for me, I guess speaking, I guess knowledge into people's lives comes quite easily to me. Um, but again, like I still constantly working on myself so I can provide good information to other people, right? I can see the best in others and help them create an action plan for their purpose. You know, I'm naturally good at creating a fitness program for people to get to wherever they want to be. Alrighty. So, what is your dream job? Now, some of you might be already living your dream job. You may already know what your purpose is, right? But it's really good to relive all these kind of questions again every year. So, literally, if you could do absolutely anything, what is your dream job or career? It doesn't have to be a job, it can be a career. If you're already living it, just write down exactly what you're currently doing or what the next stage in your career could be. What's your next stage, the dream of the second stage of your career? Alrighty, guys. What would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Now, this is one of my absolute favorite questions, and I like to ask myself this all the time. Um, what would you do if you knew you could not fail? Maybe write some dot points down. If you knew you couldn't fail, like literally, you had the time, the energy, the money, you didn't care what other people thought of you, you literally couldn't fail. You had no limiting beliefs. What would you do? Alrighty, 10 more seconds. Remember, you can always go back to these questions. Okay. How can you help people with your gifts, talents, and abilities? So, meaning with everything you've just written down, like what are you good at? What are you naturally gifted at? What's your dream job? What do you dislike doing? Literally everything. What do you love to do? How can you help people with what you currently have to offer? What you're naturally gifted at? Alrighty. Amazing work, guys. Cool. All right. So this is the third page. So this is questioning your purpose. So I love these questions. Like seriously, these are my 3 favorite questions, probably in the whole. These are just so straightforward, and they allow you to think bigger and differently than you probably ever have. So let's get to the first question. If you owned a bookshop with one kind or type of book in this bookshop, what would it be? I love this question. Like, what's the first thing that comes to your mind? What would those books be about? One type of topic. Like, mine would be all about personal development, happiness, goal setting, productivity, that kind of thing. Because I love it. I'm obsessed with it.
Oh my gosh.
I'm also interested to hear people's answers as well, if you guys are willing to share them.
I think about what's already on my shelf.
Okay.
I go, here I'll finish the line yeah, it's a wee bit eclectic, but not that eclectic.
Yeah. And this is also I'm talking about like books that like you would write, you would give to others, your bookshop would be. Like what's that one type of book?
Um,
It might even be on purpose.
Mine definitely would be the connection between the aviation industry and the corporate world.
Oh, I like that. Very cool.
For sure.
Between what?
The aviation industry and the corporate world. But there's so much that you can take from the aviation industry and implement in the corporate world that makes a big difference in the way your team functions, the whole organization operates. That I have found very helpful.
It's the model I keep in front of my desk.
What's that?
That's the model I keep in front of my desk.
Really?
That's interesting.
I know a lot of people don't think about it, but if you look at it in terms of
I'll change my
things
camera.
like things like CRM, crew resource management.
Spirit
Oh,
Media business model. There you go.
interesting.
You guys should have a chat.
What is that a book or is that a calendar? What is it?
It's a piece of paper.
Or is it just a print?
I
Oh,
love it.
Oh. I'm big into metaphors and I love aviation, and I'm on the board of an aviation foundation, even though I've always dreamed someday of having my pilot's license, but I just haven't gotten it yet. But the metaphor, you're absolutely right, between aviation and corporate models is so beautiful. So beautiful that I put in front of me and I give it to my team to explain, this is how we operate. And they go, oh.
Mhm. Well, it's the same here. I just love aviation, but never got my pilot's license.
Yeah. That is so awesome. I am so happy for you both.
Yeah,
And similarities. All right. So, what was yours, Bill?
Oh, the bookshop?
Yeah.
Oh, well, here's the category sitting on my personal bookshelf. This is after having thrown away thousands of books.
Oh, wow.
Buy them, read them, give them away. Inspiration, healing, purpose, philosophy, love, faith, putting plans into action, communication and marketing.
Nice. I love that. That's awesome. If you had to pick just one of them, what would you pick?
It would be love.
Yeah, love. Oh, I love that. Alrighty, next question. What's the one thing you could do every single day, even if you didn't get paid for it? What would you do?
This is outside of like sleeping and going to the bathroom.
Yes, it is. Everyone goes, I would go on holidays and drink cocktails and go for hikes all day. I'm like, no, that's not what I mean. You can do as part of it, but I mean, what would you do as a activity, as a, I don't want to call it a job, a task. What would you do every single day and wouldn't get paid for it? Something that you could potentially get paid for, but you're happy to not get paid for it because you love it that much.
Mm-hmm.
Like I have a lot of my the people that I speak to, they love hiking, especially people who live in like Arizona way or that kind of area of the US. And like that's the first thing that most of them say when I ask them this question. They're like, "Oh, I'd probably go hiking all day." And I'm like, "Okay, cool. Could you make like, a living out of hiking?" You probably could. You could probably do hiking tours or something like that. But as well, there's a difference, I guess, between like, doing something, and getting paid for it and then doing something and not wanting to get paid for it in a way like that. You would be happy. I don't know. I think there's a slight difference. Like they're combined it, the hobby side of things and what you love to do and your purpose. They're definitely, combined together. But I also think that it's really nice to have a hobby that is just for yourself as well. And it's not mixed in with kind of like anything else. That's just what I've personally experienced. But yeah, everyone's different.
I would answer the question differently if it were, what's one thing you would do every single day, even if you didn't gain weight?
Ooh, that's a good question. I like that one. I'd probably drink mojitos.
Yeah.
Not all day. I'd be very drunk. I like that question. That is a good question. Alrighty. What are you already doing for free that lines up with your talents, gifts, and abilities? So I like this question too because it kind of like takes you back a step and analyzes what you're currently already doing. You're doing it naturally. do it daily, weekly, it comes up occasionally, and you don't get paid for it at all, and you don't care because you love it and you maybe are helping people or whatever it is, right? So, for example, I used to go for walks with a lot of people, and I used to just like, just speak life into their lives if they were going through a hard time, being with them, having coffee with them. And that to me was something that came really naturally to me. Um, and I was doing that anyway, you know, and now I kind of have a business around that. And I love it, obsessed with it. I could do it all day long. Let's wrap this up. Everyone who's watching, so basically, or listening, what you want to do after you write down what you believe your purpose is and what you could use, how you could create it. Sorry, how could you turn it into a business or a daily activity, or how can you start living your purpose on a daily basis? If you're still unsure what your purpose is, it's okay. It takes a while to really understand it, right? And it doesn't have to be completely dialed in, like, this is my purpose and nothing else. It can change, it fluctuates. That's it. As you get older, as things into your life change. So, what you want to do after this is just write the idea, the what. So, the what is basically what you wrote down above, but just in a shorter context. The where, how you're going to do this, or that's the second one. So, the where, how, why, the budget, any limiting beliefs, and the one action step that you can take today to start pursuing this. So that is the first little, it's not really little, it's quite a big task actually. Because that could potentially be your next business. That could potentially be your next charity event. It could be anything, right? It could be literally anything. So after you complete that, the last page is understanding your goals. Now, this is a very simple template, but you're going to write down the goal of your purpose or what you wrote down. So turn the what into the goal. So your purpose might be, all right, the what? Help people wake up happy every single day. What's the goal? The goal could literally be write a book to help people wake up happy every day. That's what mine would have been. And now that I've already done this, I'll do something else. And always progressing, right? Like we just talked about. So the goal, and then it will be, what will this give you? What will this goal give you? Will it fill your cup up? Will it give you patience? Will it give you a new perspective? Will it give you and then from there, you ask, and from what you had written down there, and what will this give you? So let's just say, okay, writing a book to help people become happier. This will give me an opportunity to build a foundation for my career and then also actually help people build better habits. Okay, what will that do for me? It's almost like the 7 whys question, but in a goal way, which is interesting. I've never done this type of goal setting before. Yeah, so let's just say build a foundation for my career, help people become happier, blah, blah, blah. And what will that give me? Okay, that will give me an opportunity to help other people and inspire them to live happier lives. Okay, and what will that give me? And it gets harder and harder and harder and harder as you go. So this is something you're going to have to really sit down for about 20 minutes and just do it. Just do it. And then by the end, you'll come up with a really, really nice goal and a reason why.
When you filled this out, what were the answers for you?
I guess I kind of it was actually really hard because I do the 7 whys exercise. If anyone doesn't know what the 7 whys exercise is, it's asking yourself, for example, why do you want to write a book? Oh, because I want to get my message out there. Why do you want to get your message out there? And you keep asking yourself 7 reasons why. And then usually the 7th, you get deep enough to be your why. So I think I did this quite a while ago, in total honesty. And I think I just did it based around, my book, actually. So I wrote okay, the goal was to write a book, right? Okay, to build a foundation for my career and become happier. And I'm just trying to think and remember the answers. And what will this give you? All right, this will give me a reason to get out of bed every morning and help people. All right, And what will this give me? This will give me purpose and an opportunity to build foundations and also charities and all sorts of things to help more and more and more people, right? More people can know about it. And what will this do? What will this give me? And I got to a point where I was like, you know what? This gives me nothing because it's all for everyone else. So that's a really different perspective that I kind of got from this, right?
Yeah.
I don't know. What did you get?
Well, having not done this specific one, I have done the 7 whys, and I talk about it in my book as well, because I think it's just such a great
I
exercise
love it. Yeah.
that I think everybody needs to do. And if you have to say, what do I get out of it?
Mm.
I realize that it comes with real fulfillment and real joy.
That's exactly it. Joy.
Yeah, there's joy, and it's different than
I
happiness.
really like that. Alrighty. Well, thanks so much for joining us today. Anyone listen to the recording, if you have any questions, please just send me an email. You know my email, hollysmithpt.com or at Gmail, sorry. That's a website. So yeah, send me a message if you have any questions. Otherwise, I'll be sending out this live recording so you guys can listen to it. I know a lot of people message me saying, oh, is it going to be recorded? So I will send it to you, no worries. And otherwise, have a fabulous day and I'll talk to you soon.